Hello, we come to Fresh Vision TV. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of two of the most powerful hurricanes that left their mark not just on the map, but on the lives of so many. Hurricane Laura in 2020 and Hurricane Lorenzo in 2019. These storms didn't just shake up the weather, they shook up entire communities. Grab your seat because we're about to take you on a wild ride through nature's fury. Let's start with Hurricane Laura, a storm that made its presence known in August 2020. Laura was a Category 4 hurricane that tore through Louisiana with winds reaching up to 150 miles per hour. Can you imagine? That's like Mother Nature herself screaming through the streets. But it wasn't just about the wind. Laura also brought along devastating storm surges that swallowed homes and streets, leaving communities in ruins. Have you ever experienced a storm like that? Tell us in the comments how you prepared, or maybe how you didn't, and what you'd do differently next time. And speaking of incredible stories, there was this one man in Lake Charles who risked everything to save his neighbor from the rising floodwaters. Armed with nothing but a small boat and a big heart, he braved the storm to pull his neighbor to safety. That's the kind of heroism that truly shines in dark times, don't you think? Drop A in the comments if you'd want a neighbor like that. Now, Laura wasn't just about destruction, it was about resilience. The communities came together, rebuilding and recovering even in the face of such overwhelming odds. Stick around because later, we'll be sharing some heartwarming stories of recovery that you won't want to miss. Next up, let's rewind to 2019 and take a look at Hurricane Lorenzo. Now, Lorenzo was special for a couple of reasons. For one, it was the easternmost Category 5 hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic. This beast of a storm charged across the ocean with winds topping 160 miles per hour. Lorenzo didn't hit the US directly, but it sure made its mark on Europe. It slammed into the Azores, a beautiful group of islands belonging to Portugal, before heading towards Ireland and the UK. Those islands were battered by massive waves and high winds that left ports in ruins and boats stranded on shore. Imagine watching those waves crash, an awe-inspiring but terrifying sight. And here's a story that'll really catch your attention. A French container ship, Bourbon Road, was caught in the storm's path. It sank, leading to one of the largest maritime rescue operations in recent history. Can you believe that? The sheer scale of it was mind-blowing, with teams from multiple countries coming together to search for survivors. Both Laura and Lorenzo were reminders of the incredible power of nature, but also of the resilience and bravery that storms like these bring out in people. Which hurricane story impacted you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Imagine a world where the sky turns an ominous shade of orange, the air thickens with dust, and the very breath you take feels like inhaling the desert itself. Welcome to the terrifying phenomenon of sandstorms, nature's way of reminding us just how small we truly are. In February 2020, a colossal sandstorm rose from the depths of the Sahara Desert, barreling across the Mediterranean, and descended upon southern Europe like an unstoppable force. As it surged forward, it swallowed entire cities in a cloud of suffocating dust, turning the skies of Spain and Italy into a haunting tableau of deep orange and yellow hues. For days, millions of people found themselves trapped in a surreal nightmare. The air was so thick with sand that it obscured the sun, casting a ghostly pallor over everything beneath it. Roads became treacherous, flights were grounded, and for those with respiratory issues, each breath felt like a battle for survival. But amidst this chaos, there are always those who choose to tempt fate. Here, we see a man running headlong into the swirling vortex, a tornado of sand whipped up by the storm. While it may seem like a scene from a movie, this is no act of heroism. This is a dangerous, reckless game with nature, and it could easily have deadly consequences. Running into the heart of a sandstorm is not just foolhardy, it's sheer madness. The power of these storms is unimaginable, and trying to challenge them is an act of foolish bravado. Nature is not something to be toyed with, it's something to be respected. Remember, no thrill is worth risking your life over. But it wasn't just the dust that posed a threat. As the storm raged, a strange and almost mystical phenomenon occurred: static electricity. The friction between millions of tiny sand particles created an electrical charge, and some witnesses reported seeing sparks dancing in the air, a chilling reminder of the raw power these storms wield. Now, travel with me to 2007, to the heart of Sudan, where another sandstorm of biblical proportions struck the city of Khartoum. In an instant, day turned to night as a wall of sand, hundreds of feet high, swept through the city. Streets were deserted as people took cover, and those who braved the storm found themselves blind, lost in a sea of swirling dust. Can you imagine standing there, watching as a wall of sand hundreds of feet high advances relentlessly toward you? The sheer power of the storm is breathtaking as it engulfs everything in its path. Buildings, streets, entire neighborhoods vanish into the swirling chaos. The city is swallowed whole, wrapped in a suffocating blanket of dust, leaving behind only silence and darkness. Sandstorms like these are more than just a weather event. They are a stark reminder of the untamed power of our planet. When the sky darkens and the winds howl, we are reminded that, in the face of nature's fury, we are all at its mercy. So next time you see a storm cloud on the horizon, remember, it might just be bringing with it the desert's wrath. And whatever you do, don't make the mistake of challenging it head-on. But if you ever find yourself caught in the path of a sandstorm, there are ways to stay safe. First, seek shelter immediately, indoors if possible. Close all windows and doors tightly, and if you're driving, pull over and turn off your vehicle's engine. Cover your nose and mouth with a mask or cloth to prevent inhaling dust, and protect your eyes with goggles or glasses. Above all, stay inside and wait for the storm to pass. The desert may be vast, but it can't hold its grip forever. Our planet is renowned not only for its rich biodiversity, but also for its awe-inspiring natural phenomena, where the raw power and beauty of nature merge to create breathtaking spectacles. In certain places across the globe, nature has painted masterpieces that leave us in sheer amazement, marveling at the boundless wonders of this earth. These phenomena stand as testaments to nature's grandeur, treasures of immeasurable value that we can only witness, never possess. One of the most magical natural occurrences is the stunning pink lakes, with Lake Hillier in Australia being a prime example. The lake's vibrant pink hue is the result of the salt-loving bacteria Dunaliella salina, which produces this brilliant color under the right conditions of temperature and light. Pink lakes are mesmerizing sights, showcasing nature's unique adaptability and biological diversity, leaving anyone who sees them in absolute awe. Glacier calving, where colossal chunks of ice break away from glaciers and plunge into the sea, creating thunderous roars and forming new icebergs, is one of nature's most dramatic displays. This phenomenon typically occurs in icy regions like Greenland and Antarctica, where massive ice walls collapse into the ocean, generating towering waves and underscoring the sheer, terrifying power of nature. Yet beneath this majestic spectacle lies a dire warning, a subtle yet persistent reminder of the global warming crisis, one of the greatest challenges we face today. Then there's the morning glory cloud, one of nature's rarest and most exquisite phenomena, often gracing the skies above the Gulf of Carpentaria in Australia. These rolling cloud formations stretch for hundreds of kilometers, moving at speeds of up to 60 km/h, resembling enormous waves in the sky. Not only are these clouds a visual marvel, but they also present an irresistible challenge for glider pilots who dream of soaring along these magnificent formations. These priceless masterpieces of creation coexist with the devastating wrath of natural disasters. Mother Nature, in her fairness, delivers both the fury of destruction when we erode the earth and the everlasting breathtaking wonders that captivate our souls. Snowstorm is a natural phenomenon full of power and danger, but it is also not just an expression of the force of nature. a clear reminder of how frail mankind is in the face of elements that are considered overwhelmingly insurmountable. When these narrow paths between pristine wildernesses are blanketed in pure white under the biting cold winds, it feels like the landscape is frozen in time, frozen in majestic stillness. But beneath the cover of this attractive beauty lies a short-lived threat of weather that puts in jeopardy the lives of millions, which have to confront severe and dangerous challenges. Three snowstorms have historically left the most profound marks. First is the blizzard of 1888, also known as the Great Blizzard. In just over 3 days, from March 11th to the 14th, it paralyzed the northeastern United States with more than 50 inches of snow, approximately 327 centimeters blanketing the region. Rigorous cold and severe wind paralyzed every activity and set the death toll at more than 400 human lives, with major damage in large cities like New York and Boston. These were then followed by the blizzard of 1947, a colossal snowfall that blanketed New York City with over 26 inches, about 66 centimeters of snow, in one night. The storm led to the greatest single accumulation of snow in the city and managed to immobilize streets, cripple transportation, and trap hundreds of thousands inside their homes, holding life almost at a standstill for some time. Finally, the blizzard of 1978, one of the most severe snowstorms in U.S. recorded history. From January 25 to 27, the extremely ferocious storm lashed the Midwest and Northeastern states, with snow accumulations reaching up to 40 inches, or about 100 centimeters in many areas. Winds peaked at 100 km/h, whipping up intense snowdrifts that isolated hundreds of thousands of people in their houses, with power outages in a widespread area for several days. The total of the storm's destruction was at billions of dollars, and there were nearly 100 lives lost. Such snowstorms are more than just record-breaking events. They demonstrate the boundless power of nature, while at the same time reminding very clearly of the imperative for constant preparedness in emergencies. The surface of our planet is mostly covered by oceans, vast expanses where sunlight never reaches due to their incredible depth. One might think that at such deadly depths, all life would be consumed by darkness, crushed by immense pressure, and dissolved by unfathomable salinity. Yet, nature's astonishing creativity never ceases to amaze. In these most extreme environments, a unique ecosystem thrives, filled with bizarre creatures that seem like they've stepped out of a surreal dream. These organisms have developed extraordinary biological features to adapt and survive in these harsh conditions. The vampire squid, with its deep crimson hue and tentacles lined with menacing spines, is one of the deep sea's most iconic creatures. Found at depths ranging from 600 to 1,200 meters, this small squid, measuring about 30 centimeters in length, is particularly noteworthy for its ability to create a cloak of spines around its body and its bioluminescent glow, which it uses to ward off predators. Despite its fearsome appearance, the vampire squid is not a predator. It feeds primarily on marine snow, detritus that drifts down from the upper layers of the ocean. Comb jellies, belonging to the actinophore group, are mesmerizing deep-sea creatures with transparent bodies that radiate a stunning bioluminescent glow. They inhabit a wide range of ocean depths, from shallow waters to the abyssal zones. The name comb jelly comes from the row of tiny hair-like cilia they use to propel themselves through the water. These delicate creatures might not have strong defense mechanisms, but their vibrant colors serve as a form of protection, either by confusing predators or acting as a warning signal. Despite their small size, comb jellies play a crucial role in the deep-sea food web. The deep-sea dragonfish is one of the ocean's most fearsome predators, lurking at depths between 200 and 1,500 meters. Known for its sharp, needle-like teeth and expansive jaw, this fish can swallow prey larger than itself. One of the dragonfish's most remarkable features is its bioluminescence, with light-producing organs along its body that help it hunt and communicate in the pitch-black depths. This nocturnal predator uses its natural camouflage and glowing lures to sneak up on unsuspecting prey in the darkness. Giant tube worms are among the most extraordinary life forms, thriving near hydrothermal vents thousands of meters beneath the ocean's surface. These creatures can grow up to 2.4 meters in length and live inside hard, calcium carbonate tubes they build themselves. Lacking a mouth and digestive system, giant tube worms rely on symbiotic bacteria to convert toxic chemicals from the hydrothermal vents into energy. These worms are a testament to life's ability to flourish in conditions previously thought to be uninhabitable. The tripod fish is a peculiar species living at depths of 870 to 4,720 meters on the ocean floor. It's named for its 3 elongated fins, which it uses like legs to stand upright on the seafloor as it waits for prey to pass by. This fish can remain motionless for extended periods, perfectly adapted to its harsh, frigid environment, where sunlight is non-existent and temperatures are perpetually low. The tripod fish's unique adaptations allow it to thrive in one of the most challenging habitats on Earth. These incredible creatures not only enrich the biodiversity of our planet, but also open new doors for scientific exploration, helping us to better understand the remarkable resilience of life in the most extreme environments of nature. In June 2013, the monsoon arrived early in Uttarakhand, India, with a ferocity that no one could have foreseen. For days, the rain poured relentlessly, turning calm rivers into raging torrents. As you can see, in just a matter of moments, thousands of tons of rock and earth obliterated everything in their path. Entire villages were buried, homes and businesses swept away. The town of Kedarnath was almost entirely wiped off the map, leaving behind a landscape that resembled a war zone more than a sacred place. India reported that nearly 100 lives were tragically lost, and over 5,700 residents were left in catastrophic conditions. The disaster also crippled many transportation systems, causing hundreds of millions of dollars in damages at the time. Heavy rain is one of the primary causes of landslides. When rain pours down over an extended period, the water begins to seep deep into the ground. As the soil becomes saturated, its ability to hold itself together weakens significantly. This means the earth can no longer stay stable on the slopes, causing the layers of soil and rock to shift and trigger a disaster for those in its path. Rescue operations were launched, but the scale of the disaster was overwhelming. Soldiers, volunteers, and relief organizations bravely navigated dangerous conditions to save lives and recover bodies. But the roads were gone, bridges had collapsed, and the relentless weather made everything even more challenging. We can see that this tragedy is about more than just a natural disaster. It's a wake-up call, a stark reminder of our vulnerability in the face of nature's immense power. The Kedarnath landslide forced India and the world to confront the harsh realities of climate change, deforestation, and unchecked development in fragile mountain ecosystems. In summary, we must avoid walking near or around areas affected by landslides. Do not fish, collect firewood, or swim across rivers and streams during heavy rain, especially if you notice the water changing from clear to murky. Stay away from bridges and culverts when the water level is rising and the current is strong. As we reflect on this tragedy, let it serve as a reminder that while we can't always predict nature's next move, we can certainly prepare ourselves to face it when it comes. On March 11, 2011, in Japan's Tohoku region, it felt as though the earth and sky turned against humanity, reminding us of our fragile place in the vast natural world. A massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck, causing numerous roads across the country to crack and break apart, leaving behind unforgettable images etched in the minds of the people. The estimated damage soared to an astonishing $235 billion, with transportation completely paralyzed. Nearly 50 major roads were severely impacted, making this the most expensive natural disaster in history. Within hours, rescue teams were mobilized, braving treacherous terrain and risking their lives to save others. They worked tirelessly, around the clock, undeterred by obstacles that seemed almost insurmountable. These images reveal destruction beyond imagination. Roads that once connected communities are now torn apart, shattered by the sheer force of the earthquake. Some roads were swallowed whole, while others split into deep cracks, making rescue efforts nearly impossible. Welcome back to Fresh Vision TV. I'm thrilled to have you with us today. We're diving into a topic that's as deadly as it is elusive, a silent killer lurking in the shadows. Today, we're talking about the dengue fever epidemic in India. Back in 2017, India recorded a staggering 188,401 cases of dengue fever, with the death toll surpassing 325 lives. In the years that followed, dengue fever continued its relentless assault, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, where it claimed the lives of the most vulnerable, especially young children. It's heartbreaking to see these images, families torn apart, children suffering under the harsh grip of dengue fever in India. But what makes this disease so devastating? First and foremost, it's not just a fever. It's the complications like dengue hemorrhagic fever and dengue shock syndrome that make this illness so difficult to control. And with that comes a heartbreaking story. Due to the overwhelming number of emergency cases, a 6-year-old child in India wasn't able to receive timely medical care, leading to a tragic loss of life. So, if you live in an area prone to dengue fever, make sure to follow these essential steps. Use mosquito repellent and wear long-sleeved clothing to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Sleep under mosquito nets, especially at night when these mosquitoes are most active. The dengue virus is transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which spreads the disease when it bites an infected person and then moves on to bite someone else, injecting the virus into their body through its saliva. Once inside, the dengue virus invades and multiplies within the human body, leading to symptoms like high fever, severe headaches, and muscle pain. In more severe cases, it can cause serious complications, including internal bleeding or multi-organ failure. India is a nation of over 1 billion people, where the rich mosaic of cultural and religious diversity creates a vibrant, colorful tapestry. Yet, in the middle of 2021, a storm of disease engulfed the entire country. With more than 4.5 million lives lost to COVID-19, this isn't just a story of numbers, it's a story of millions of lives cut short, millions of families torn apart, and millions of dreams shattered. In many areas, lockdowns were enforced to control the spread of the virus. Thousands of rapid test kits were used to quickly identify those who were infected. But the pandemic didn't just bring death, it also exposed the deadly weaknesses in the healthcare system. During the second wave, when the Delta variant struck, hospitals across the country were overwhelmed, and the oxygen supply ran dangerously low. Thousands of people were forced to fight for every last breath simply because there wasn't enough oxygen. Many people spoke out as they were turned away from hospitals, struggling because the food and essential supplies in their homes had run out. They were left in a desperate situation, trying to survive with nothing left. Once the SARS-CoV-2 virus enters your body, it doesn't just sit idly by, it has a mission. Armed with its spike proteins, it targets your lung cells, latching onto the ACE2 receptors, like a key perfectly fitting into a lock. The moment this connection is made, the virus takes control of the cell, and that's when the real destruction begins. Inside, it hijacks your cells, forcing them to produce thousands of copies of the virus, like a factory running at full capacity. In China, many people were heartbroken over a doctor from Wuhan who had tried to warn others about the outbreak. Instead of being heard, he was prosecuted by the authorities for allegedly spreading false information and causing public panic. This led to widespread outrage among the citizens. In summary, to prevent COVID-19, always wear a mask when you're out, wash your hands frequently with soap or hand sanitizer, and maintain a distance of at least 1-2 meters from others. Also, avoid crowded places to reduce the risk of infection. We wish you good health so you can continue to stay with us here at Fresh Vision TV.